Welcome, dear students. Today we are going to continue practicing for the competitive examinations of Public Service Commission examination relating to special education. And this vlog is reserved for the contents which relates to special education and special persons in Pakistan. In this vlog, in the first half, we'll state the facts as they are. We'll give the figures, we'll give the data about the special persons in Pakistan and the special education in Pakistan. And then we'll, at the end, in the second half, we'll formally practice the MCQs relating to special education and special persons in Pakistan. Now, according to the world estimates about Pakistan, and these estimates are given by a recognized world institution called World Health Organization, they state that throughout the world, the prevalence of disability is between 10% to 15%. It varies from area to area and country to country. As far as Pakistan is concerned, persons with disabilities make up 13.4% of the total population of Pakistan, which amounts to approximately 28 million people or 2 crore 80 lakh people. This figure we have taken from the publication of World Health Organization of year 2011. Now, based on such facts, one MCQ which can be asked is, according to WHO 2011 publication, the general prevalence of disability make up what percentage of the total population? Four choices are 10%, about 11%, about 12%, or about 13%. Now we know the answer, and the correct answer is D, that is about 13%. This is what WHO states regarding Pakistan. Now, according to Pakistan's own estimate, it is estimated that 2.49% of the population is disabled. What WHO says, what we estimated, and I give you the source also. I have taken this estimate from given in National Policy for Persons with Disability, year 2002 publication, and this estimate is taken from the population census of Pakistan of 1998. And why is the such a wide difference, whereas WHO says around about 13% and we have estimated about 2.5%? The reason is many parents tend to conceal the fact that they have disabled child or deny the presence of disability in their children. And this was researched by Khatun and published in 2003. One can make an MCQ from that previous slide which I have just shown you. The MCQ can be asked according to 1998 Pakistani census. Disabled population is 2.49, 4.49, 6.49, or 8.49. The answer we already know should be A, that is 2.49. This is how the MCQs are developed. So I'll just give you the figures, the statistics, and one can make as many MCQs as one can. So to save the time, I'll just give you the figures. Now, age-specific data from 0 to 18, that is below 18 years old, there are 2.82 million physically disabled children in Pakistan. There are 1.41 million visual impaired in Pakistan. There are 0.705 million hearing impaired in Pakistan. There are 1.41 mentally retarded persons in Pakistan, and those who are overlapping, they are 0.705. So these are the figures relating to below 18 years of age special persons in Pakistan. And those who are above 18, they are 2.402 million physical disabled, 1.201 million visual impaired, and zero point 0.6 hearing impaired, 1.201 mental retarded, and overlapping 0.6. This difference is obviously given to find out how many persons who are in school going age they are with us in the population. Now, area specific data. Total, as we know, in Pakistan, there are 2.49 percentage according to 1998 census. In Pakistan, the percentage is 2.48. In Sindh, the percentage is 3.5, and in Balochistan, it is 2.23, and in KPK, it is 2.12 of the population. Seeing the data from another perspective, from another angle, now we see province-wise disability. If we take 100% population of disabled, out of these 100%, in Punjab there are about 55%, in Sindh they are about 28%, in Balochistan they are about 4%, in KPK they are about 11%, and in Islamabad 0.3%. Now, disability wise, in different provinces, first we'll take Punjab. In Punjab, the physically handicapped are about 20%, visual impaired are about 8%, hearing impaired are again about 8%, mental disabled are about 7 to 8%, hearing impaired are about 8%, and then the insane, they are 6.5%, others are 39.73. In Sindh, the condition of the different disabilities is like this. In Sindh, physical disabled are about 10%, visual about 7%, hearing about 6%, mental about 7.45%. Again, then hearing impaired 8.1%, and then this insane are 6.13%, and others are 53.28%. Similarly, these are the figures relating to KPK. You can see it, you can pause the video and view it. Down below in the second half, there are the figures relating to Balochistan, the different percentage of different disabilities. Now, another breakup is urban and rural. First, overall, if we see that out of all the disabled persons, according to figures available, 53% are male and 47% are female. In urban areas, 1.24 million live male, and female in urban area they live 1.42 million, whereas in rural areas male live 3.16 million and female are 2.84 million. One can make the MCQs based on these estimates. Then another important statistics is that if we see the census report of 1981, uh, a person with physically handicapped are 40%, intellectual intellectually handicapped children are 30%, visually impaired children are 20%, and hearing impaired children are 10%. That is, maximum are physically handicapped and minimum are hearing impaired. Now based on this, one can make the MCQ, and this usually very popular and set in the papers. According to 1981 census, which type of person with disability has the highest percentage? And the choices given are hearing impaired, intellectually challenged, visual handicapped, or physically handicapped. Obviously, we have already discussed and we know it. It is the answer is the last one, that is physically handicapped, or in maximum number that they are about 40% of the total disabled population. Now, after discussing the major or basic statistics relating to persons with disabilities, now we are want to know some statistics regarding special education in Pakistan. And the first stunning factor is there are 5% school age disabled children enrolled in special education schools, and rest are without any formal special education. And who gave this figure? Here is the resource also from where we have taken this figure. Now, based on this, one can make an MCQ, and the usual MCQ which we find in the papers is school-age disabled children enrolled in special education schools are 3%, 5%, 7%, or 9%. And we know the answer, as we have discussed in the previous slide, that is B, 5% is the correct answer. Then some more facts, figures, and we can make as many MCQs as we want. I'll just state the mere facts and figures. There are 4 special education centers and total 13 institutes under the federal government for rehabilitation, education, and training of disabled persons in Islamabad. These institutions are in the federal territory of Islamabad. And this figure I have taken from DGSE 2018 publication. Another data, there are 180 institutes and special education schools which are imparting education to 32,000 disabled children in Punjab. So you can make the MCQ, how many children are enrolled in the special institutions in Punjab. You can have figure 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 30,000, 50,000, 40,000, whatever. Then another fact relating to Sindh, there are 53 special education and vocational training institutes and schools in Sindh, and I have given the source from where I have taken this figure. And a figure relating to KPK, there are 18 special education institutes, training centers, and schools where 2,549 students are enrolled. And who told us? Hamid in his publication 2018. Now let us move over to some of the main milestones, national policies which we had. In 1972, a general national education policy was given, and there was a brief or short mention regarding children with disabilities in it, and the need to give them more facilities was mentioned in that General National Education Policy of 1972. Then we find another national education policy, not particularly meant for special children. In this general education policy, the mention of special children and a person with disability was also there, and it was mentioned education, treatment, institutional care, and rehabilitation of persons with disabilities should be taken care of. It was also a sort of general statement emphasizing the need for special education. Now, in 1986, this was the landmark, and this was the first policy of special education in Pakistan, and it was named as National Policy for Rehabilitation of Disabled. Now, based on this, we can easily, this question is frequently asked. When was the first formal special education policy given in Pakistan? Very popular question. 1972, 1986, 1999, 2002. The answer we have already discussed. It was first special education, formal special education policy, exclusively meant for special education, was given in 1986. Then in 1999, National Policy for Special Education, another specific policy for special education was given, and it focused the need for the change in public attitude to disabled and crucial role of media in highlighting the successes of persons with disabilities. And in this particular policy, some monetary concessions to be made to children with disabilities, as well as providing them with legislative support, was also given. Another milestone in special education policies was in year 2002, and this was known as National Policy for Persons with Disabilities. We can make out an MCQ. What was the name of the policy of special education given in 2002? And obviously, the correct answer would be National Policy for Persons with Disabilities. And this policy concentrated on areas of focus were education and training, provision of special aids and equipment, alignment of policies between federal and provincial and district government, changes in curriculum, vocational training, advocacy, and mass awareness and sports and recreation. Another milestone in the policies given for special ed persons was in year 2006, and this policy was known as National Plan of Action for Persons with Disabilities, in short NPA. And the NPA is based on the philosophy that access, inclusion, and equalization of opportunities. Three key words: access. We should provide access to the special person. There should be ease of moving from one point to another point. They should be given the chances of inclusion in general education, and they should be provided equal opportunities. That was the main hallmark of this policy called NPA. And this policy gave us accessibility code of Pakistan. As I already said, their main stress was on access and mobility, and giving friendly physical environment to special persons in the public buildings, on the roads, and elsewhere in the public parks. In year 2008, a special act, a citizen act was passed, which seeks to provide accessibility to this was a legislation made with regard to allocation of seats in public transport, provision of facilities on footpaths for wheelchair bound persons and blind persons. In year 2009, there was also an act passed called Special Citizens' Right to Concession in Movement Act, and the main emphasis was on, of course, mobility and the concession which were given with lower transport cost, less fares, half fare or free fare for concession in fares of air, railways, and the permission to import special cars duty free. In 2009 again, this policy was inclusion was emphasized. Then we find in year 2017 national education policy, and in that chapter 15 is dedicated to special education and inclusive education. This was again a great importance given to special education because a whole one chapter was dedicated to special education in national education policy. Now we come to the international obligations which we had and what action the state has been taking in form of legislation. Since Pakistan is signatory to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and Goal 4 binds each member nation to ensure equitable and inclusive education for all, including people with disabilities. So we have international obligation to provide facilities to special persons. In addition, Pakistan signed and ratified United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability in year 2008. So, due to these national and international obligation, now national obligation we will mention here, and on that you can also have an MCQ. Which article of Constitution emphasizes that? And this article is Article 25A of Constitution, and this requires compulsory and free education to all children whether they are able or disabled from age 5 to 16. This is our constitutional obligation besides the international obligations. And Article 38 also says so that this article provides that as a principle of policy, necessities of life, including education and medical care, will be provided by state to the ailing, sick, and unemployed persons. Now, here is on one slide the legislations which we made for disabled person. You can see it. First legislation was in 1981. That was in form of an ordinance because then the parliament was not there. So in year 2002, national policy was made. We mentioned that already. In year 2006, there was another national plan of action, NPA. We talked about that earlier. And in 2008, here was a Special Citizen Act which was passed, and in year 2009, Special Citizen Right to Concession. We mentioned that also on this slide. We have put in one slide all the legal legislation that were made. And in year 2015, Khidmat Card, an initiative of the government of Punjab, they had taken, that is also mentioned. So the Disabled Persons Employment and Ordinance 1981. Here is a brief introduction about that. You can read it yourself. Now we are moving into the second half of the this video, and this video you will have about 25 MCQs relating to special education and special persons. The disability certificate in Pakistan issued by whom? Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, National Database Regulation Authority, that is NADRA, or special education centers. The answer is A, that is Ministry of Health issues the disability certificate. Then which law in Pakistan provides rights and protection to children with disabilities? We have already mentioned, discussed in detail, and the answer is D, that is Disabled Persons Employment and Rehabilitation Ordinance. That's the answer. Then the National Disability Rights Commission was established in which year? The correct is B, that is 2010. Then the National Institute of Special Education, which is in short known as NISE, is located in which city? It is located in Lahore. It is incorrect. Sorry, correction G. It is misprint. It is located in Islamabad. Which organization is responsible for the registration and certification of persons with disabilities in Pakistan? It is B, National Database and Registration Authority, NADRA. Which law in Pakistan mandates that private educational institutions allocate a certain percentage of seats for persons with disabilities? It is A, that is the first one, Disabled Persons Employment and Rehabilitation Ordinance. Which organization in Pakistan is responsible for formulating policies and implementing programs related to persons with disabilities? The answer is C, Ministry of Special Education. The special education centers in Pakistan are primarily focused on providing education and support to individuals with which? The answer is intellectual disabilities. In fact, the special education centers are catering for the education of all of them now. Which Pakistani philanthropist is known for his efforts in establishing the Special Olympics Pakistan? It was Ansar Barni. The National Council for Rehabilitation of Disabled Persons operates under the auspices of which ministry in Pakistan? The answer is Ministry of Social Welfare and Special Education. Which organization in Pakistan is responsible for conducting research, promotion, awareness, and providing training in the field of special education? The answer is B, that is National Institute of Special Education, NISE. The deaf reach schools in Pakistan are dedicated to providing education and support to individuals with C, hearing impaired. The national policy for persons with disabilities was formulated in which year? It was C, 2010. And the Parliamentary Committee on Rights of Persons with Disabilities in Pakistan was established in which year? It was B, 2014. And the national policy for persons with disabilities aims to achieve equal participation and inclusion of persons with disabilities by the year, which year? C, 2030. The Persons Disabled Foundation is an organization that focuses on what? It focuses on C, advocating for the rights of persons with disabilities. The Down Syndrome Society of Pakistan is dedicated to supporting individuals with which disability? Intellectual disabilities. The National Institute of Rehabilitation in Pakistan primarily focuses on providing services and supports to whom? To physical disabilities. Which organization is responsible for training and professional development of special education teachers in Pakistan? It is NISE. The Pakistan Blind Cricket Council is responsible for promoting organizing cricket for individuals with which disability? Visual impairment. The Special Education Center in Pakistan offer education and support to students with disabilities up to what age? Up to 16